Justice had a really big problem her whole life. She'd be in the grocery store, the waiting room at the orthodontist, the waiting room at the doctor, the church service. Everything would be all quiet and boring, and she'd get the giggles. She would laugh and laugh, never exactly sure of what, and sometimes like a fool she'd snort while she laughed. She'd get louder and louder, and Justice would laugh so much that she'd urinate herself just a teensy bit, and this happened more often than she'd like to admit. I will live only as long as I am loved, and the tragedy is that I will love forever, as I am still learning to love myself. It's not that I wasn't born wanted, it's that the mother I was born to never wanted me, not in the way a normal mother does. And while I was being born in Saginaw, two people living in Riverview were falling in love more and more every day and losing hope that they would have a child. 117 miles away, and then 30, and then 517, and then 265, and then not even a mile, but just down the hall, just across the sidewalk to the stone church, where Mom and Dad are working, and I sit in awe with a puppy in my lap, wondering how I ended up here. I was born wanted, it just took some time for my Mom and Dad to find me. My lips are bleeding and it tastes sweet. There's something hiding underneath me. Something I'd rather not be eating. Something I can't bear to find and not worth repeating. I wish you could know me not like a guest. I'd make your bed and give you rest. I wish you could see me not like a pest. I'd eat your scabs and make scars you won't forget. I wish I had something real to show you, something to help you understand. There's a burden hiding underneath me, something even I don't understand. I think not everything has to have a reason. I think some things just happen and we have to deal with them. You came out of a holy womb and will be sealed inside a tomb full of eternity. A caregiver held you in their arms, told you that all the alarms weren't sirens but flickers of beautiful light. They were there when you couldn't fight for yourself, when all you saw was a blur and all you heard were murmurs. You learned how to make sense of the world, and later how to love. And they were always there, that life giver, the one who took you home for the first time, and someday somebody will take you home for the last, and you will know eternity. A caregiver will hold you in their arms, and no alarms or sirens will be. It will just be you and them and me, the God who loves you, the God who's helping you make sense of the blur and the always there murmur of life, growing and turning inside of you. Silence is okay. Silence can actually be really good. Silence can help us understand things that we don't know about ourselves yet. A wind blows through my body, and it leaves just as soon as I notice it. The wind skips around me, as if to tease its absence. And I wish I were dead. It would be easier than this. Easier than wishing for something I just now know to exist. And there's something inside me lingering that changed with that wind. I may never get it back, but the memory again. In college, a familiar yearning haunts me. I want to be in more than one room that's all my own. I want to paint the furniture and decorate the walls. I want to walk in the kitchen with my nightgown on and make tea with no pants. Tea with honey and lemon. I want to fold blankets in more than one place. I want someone to take care of me as I walk about. Someone to hold me and brush my hair out. Someone to wash me and clothe me at night. Someone else to turn off the lights. I want a place I can call my own. A place where I really feel at home. Home to go to every day and home that smells like me. I want to be held and I want to be happy. I am haunted by this dream that carries me as I fold clothes in my dorm room and hope to never feel this way again. If you don't already know, there's a guy named Chris McCandles who died in the 90s. And he had a very privileged life. He had plenty of money from his parents. His whole future was laid out for him. But he was starving for an answer that he couldn't get from within himself. And so he lived in the wilderness. And he found an old bus and he called it the Magic Bus. And he lived there for I think a couple years. And then he died in the cold. He couldn't survive. He got hypothermia. He left his family, he left his friends, he left all his belongings behind. There's a documentary about him, there's a YouTube video about him. And he was just looking for something else. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Except I'm not going to go into the wilderness and die. I'm just going to keep finding different ways to live. Different ways to love. Different ways to know peace and friendship. Different ways to understand the life that I've been given and how to make good use of it.